No, Mr. Naidu is in his 4th term as Chief Minister, and he's been telling us that this is going to be like his first term. So you understand, when a person becomes Chief Minister multiple times, you would imagine that for them it becomes now a routine. But Mr. Naidu brings in renewed energy to his 4th term as Chief Minister. His previous term was all about ease of doing business. Now it's about speed of doing business. So because investments have increased, investing in hundreds of crores was a big deal. Now everything has become thousands of crores. So a project getting delayed by 3 months, 6 months, derails your entire business plan, and we as state understand it. So we have been talking about speed of doing business, and that's what we will stand for. And we are going to compete with other states to deliver on this. As far as my particular departments go, I handle human resource development, skill development, IT electronics, and real-time governance. So we are doing a skill census now. The project got delayed because of the floods, recent floods. All of us we had to handle that. But we're going to bring that project back on track. We will have a workforce certified ready for you. And we are also working with the industry already in Andhra Pradesh to register onto the platform to make it a seamless and a very transparent way of hiring people. Saying that, AI is of course going to change the way we're going to do business, politics, or even governance. AI University is something that's very close to our Honorable Chief Minister's heart, and as the HRD Minister, I will deliver on this. This is designed keeping in mind the erstwhile ISB model. So we expect titans of industry to support us in this journey and actually run the institution. So government is good at policy making, giving land, and that's where we want to end our role and let industry run the curriculum, the direction, like how you've done amazingly well with ISB. As a state HRD minister, I'm looking at transforming our entire curriculum from KG to PG. It's very important to educate our children at a very young age, and if you launch them in the right direction, then the sky is the limit. So we are very conscious of that, and that's exactly what I am going to do. As far as IT electronics, yes, Andhra Pradesh has missed the Y2K advantage because we were a combined state, and back then Hyderabad was the singular focus. As far as IT investments, the data center investments, AI investments, our focus area is going to be Visakhapatnam. No second thoughts about it. And we will not miss this bus. So next 6 months, you will hear a lot of announcements coming about as far as data centers and the entire AI, harnessing the data center energy through AI. Saying that, Andhra Pradesh is a very peculiarly long state. It lends itself well for a very thematic ecosystem-based development. And if you look at successful models across the world, they've succeeded because of the ecosystem, and we understand that very well. So if you look at mobility, Anantapur is a focus, renewable energy, Kurnool is a focus, electronics manufacturing is between Chittoor and Kadapa districts both together, sports infrastructure is also going to come there, Prakasam, the entire biofuel, is going to be a big thrust area for us. Where we are sitting, which is the Capital Region Development Authority, Guntur Krishna is going to be about capital. East-West Godavari, all of you know, is exceptionally doing well in aqua. We are very cognizant that we need to make it sustainable aqua. So I've been talking to titans of industry of that sector to look at what are the investments as a state we need to do. So it could be the drainage, it could be the road infrastructure, the cold chain infrastructure. That's something we're talking to them. North Andhra is going to be our pharma, our IT destination. So we have a very clear roadmap, and this is what we're going to focus in terms of chasing investments. Saying that, in the last 5 years, I understand that you've had some challenges. I've already been talking to all the leaders. Specifically, they're related to incentives. Back then, you had power holidays. You had issues with regard to water. We totally understand that. I would like to make one thing clear. Andhra is open for business. Back then, we had Economic Development Board that led the entire outreach. We have revived it. A young IAS officer has been nominated now to lead the initiative from the front. we've lost really good youngsters to other states. They're all now coming back to be part of Economic Development Board. And Economic Development Board, while it will chase new investments, we are also creating a team which will focus on already industries that exist in Andhra Pradesh. So reaching out to all of you, understanding your pain areas, and how do we overcome those pain areas, and how as a government we can deliver on our promises. And as I said, our single agenda is to create 20 lakh jobs in 5 years. So we will do whatever is possible to deliver on that single promise, and this is part of our manifesto, and it's the first promise out of the 6 promises that we have made to the people of Andhra Pradesh. Mr. Naidu does not require any introduction. All of you understand. Mr. Naidu's governance does not require any introduction. All of you know it very well. But one thing I'd like to add, out of the 164 MLAs that won on NDA plank, out of 175, 88 of them are first-time MLAs. In the entire cabinet, 17 are first-time ministers. So it's funny that I'm actually a senior minister, though I'm very young. I'm only 41, but I'm actually a senior minister now in Mr. Naidu's cabinet. So the Honorable Chief Minister brings about that kind of fresh thoughts, fresh energy, renewed energy to drive Andhra Pradesh forward and in the right direction. We will compete with other states, no second thought. Incentives is one bit, but we will compete on the speed of doing business. So give us another 30 days. Economic Development Board will be in place. It will be the single port of call for all of you. And we will be sitting in front of your office, whether you like it or not. We will be knocking on all your doors, and we will not stop knocking till you commit investments to the state of Andhra Pradesh. Subtle pestering is, I think, the right word we're going to use. But we mean business, and Andhra Pradesh is open now. So I'd like to thank the CI for giving me this opportunity to be part of this meeting. I know that the Chief Secretary also spoke and gave a broader vision about the state. And all of us are very clear, and all of us are working with a single agenda of creating jobs. And I think that's going to be very, very important, not only for Andhra Pradesh, but for us as a nation. If we don't handle this demographic dividend well, there are going to be serious repercussions socially. So all of us understand this very well, and we're very, very conscious of it. And as a state, we want to lead it from the front. As Mr. Naidu always does it, this time also we want to lead it from the front. And soon you will see a lot of announcements of using AI in governance. So anything that you want, any information that you want, any interaction with government, apart from EDB, would be a platform-based initiative. So it could be WhatsApp, it could be Telegram, iMessages, or even a government bot. Everything is going to be transparent. So we're going to power it with AI, and I'm particularly excited about that project, and we're going to deliver on that also soon. So I'd like to thank the CI for having me, and I'm normally told that I do much better with dialogue than monologue, so I would like to open up this, with your permission, open up this discussion and answer any questions that all of you might have. Thank you very much, and Jai Hind.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. We truly appreciate the manifesto of the 20 lakh jobs, because I think that is most crucial to keep our youth engaged in the proper manner that they need to be engaged. Otherwise, we'll have a huge social issue. Your KG to PG curriculum change, we would like to we're really keen and interested to know how the curriculum change is going to happen, and if we can take it back to the other states in the southern region, that will be really nice. And you're always welcome to knock on all our doors. We are here to support you at CII, and also truly appreciate your focus on sustainability. I see that you have very small papers for your speech, and it's also cut into small pieces. Thank you so much for that, because all of us have to be environmentally conscious to take our world forward for the next generation of youth. So having said that, I'd like to first go with Mr. Thomas John Muthoot, who would like to ask you a few things.
One concern area, Andhra predominantly was into agriculture, and there's a lot of the drive of economy was agri-based industries and agri. Now with the shift focus on other areas, how are you ensuring that agri still becomes the driver for economy, because agri is also as important as all what you have just mentioned, and people shifting out of agri, will the agri get affected at some point of time? Again, the grassroots gets affected. Honorable CM, when he spoke to the National Council, he said that he lost 2 elections because of his thrust on growth, and at some point of time not taking feedbacks of the bottom. So how are you going to address this time?
Very valid question. If you look at it in the 5 years between 14 and 19, agri was a great thrust area, and agri-allied grew at the fastest pace, predominantly driven even by aqua. Saying that, I actually did a Padyatra before the election, and I spent considerable time in Rayalaseema region. And as all of you know, Rayalaseema is known for mangoes. We are only second to UP. One of the stand that I've taken is we are growing our local variants, which is great. It adds a lot of value, but we should also grow variants that the world requires. So it could be the Japanese varietals, what Europe wants. So we have a clear mission in place. We have picked specific commodities that we want to specialize in, agri commodities that as a state we want to specialize in. This is part of the Vikasit Andhra Pradesh vision. We're going to back it with research centers. So like a great example of that is mango, dragon fruit, chiku, a banana. Andhra is already very big, we can do a lot more. And with the industry support, of course. Saying that there are also like dates is a big opportunity for us in the Rayalaseema region. So we're looking at specific commodities, going deep, backed with research, giving clear inputs to the farmer and building that out.
Bringing some digital into agri also.
That's the next bit. So that's what brings me to the next bit, which is how do you make agriculture even sustainable? So Mr. Naidu has pioneered the zero budget natural farming. So there are 2 sides of the equation. One is you have to reduce the cost of inputs so that I can be competitive and sustainable. So that's something that we are also working. And then, of course, technology will play a role, not just from predicting market prices, but also understanding the possibility of any pest and how do I control. We've done this in the past under real-time governance. So we're bringing all that back, all the protocols back to that. With regards to feedback from the grassroots, I think we've always lost an election because of that, not because we didn't do work. And that's why our real-time governance is now being given to me. And in this government, in the real-time governance, one of the major things is also feedback. So we're going to take feedback from industry, feedback from citizens, feedback as a family, and look at things very holistically. So education, healthcare, and we have this model called the P4 model where, we want successful entrepreneurs to actually nurture families, nurture villages. And how do you pull people out of the cycle of poverty? Government is very good spender of public money. But then we need accountability to come in at a greater pace. And that's where I look forward to working with the industry in bringing that and hand-holding. And that's something that we intend to do.
CM, when he addressed the National Council, spoke about the 4 Ps also, involving people. So I think that's
the 4 P model.
We have been also propagating to our government saying involve people now.
Well, if you look at it this time, when we have the Chief Minister's travels, it's very open, very easy. His program is also very accessible, no barricades. So I think it's been a huge cultural shift compared to the last 5 years. But we are marching ahead in that, hopefully in the right direction.
All the best.
Thank you. So next I'd like to request Mr. Anil Epur to.
Having worked with the Honorable Chief Minister for many years, in the late 90s and early 2000s, I know you'll be very successful in what you're planning to do, and I'm glad to hear from what you have mentioned. But just a couple of thoughts. One on, don't look at only India as for the models and all this. Please look at the world as to where are the successful models working there. I just mentioned to the Chief Secretary about the skilling thing there, how the German, Swiss, Austrian model of skilling is the right model for India. That is one. Second one, when you're talking about it in agricultural and please look at the emerging trends. we're talking about mangoes and all this. This is the past. What are the new fruits that come? You talked about dragon fruit. That's the fruit, but there are a lot of things coming up like that.
Yeah.
So if somebody can go and see the supermarkets in the West, and you know what are the fruits coming there, and Ralsima is the ideal horticultural place. The dry weather makes perfect sweet fruit. So that could be the great. Same thing with aquaculture. We are not adding value to aquaculture. We are only giving the raw material out of the ponds. There's a huge scope to add value, especially accelerated freeze drying, etc., which can increase the returns to the farmers dramatically. So if you can look at what's happening in the world, and I mean, we took the Honorable Chief Minister on delegations to the US, UK, Malaysia, Singapore, and all this. And everywhere he went there, the people there were stunned by the questions he used to ask about what they're doing, how they're doing it, why they're doing it. I'm sure he'll do that, but I think it's time for you people to start going abroad, especially to these leading countries, to understand what they're doing, why they have gone there, and where can Andhra benefit from those trips. I just commend it to you and wish you all the very best.
If you can just quickly answer that. If you look at it, mango is still mango. And the advantage is now you looked at Japanese varietals. So my question is, why can't we grow those? So I think I'm looking at it end to end. And I was very infatuated with the idea that we can actually grow for the world. And this is something that I've been talking about in my entire Padayatra, because I interacted with a lot of farmers. Dates might seem trivial, but the opportunity is amazing. So as you rightly said, it's not just about supplying for India, but can I become a global supplier, in the top 10, major commodities. But commodity as a commodity, like mango is a mango. But then can I do local processing? And I've looked at how Thailand has done that better. Creating chocolates in a very micro scale. The mango toffees of some, not chocolates, or toffees. It's very easy. So we are actually looking at that, and we would love to actually engage with the industry on this, because you have a better view on things, and you're subject matter experts and domain experts. So I understand dairy very well, because I worked in the dairy business. I understand it very well, but I don't necessarily understand chili business well. So I actually look forward to interacting with the industry to actually drive policy, give guidance, and actually look at what are the best practices that are happening across the world and learn from it.
There used to be a gentleman who was the Dean of Horticulture at Tirupati called Dr. Ramarao. Then he went to work for Eenadu in that paper. He, as chief of at Tirupati, he was asked to send mango saplings to Israel and to Europe. So he said, why should we send our materials, or send him the worst varieties we have here? So he sent the one that had no market in India, he sent to them. But they were so smart that they took their varieties and they convinced the consumers in Europe that that was the actual mango and not the ones coming out of India.
It's all about, okay.
Thank you.
Suresh?
Lokesh, thank you for being here. I know how Saturdays are very important for you with your son, but thank you for being here. So I had one thing, Lokesh, and I know I've worked with your father when I was a chair last time and all that, and we did a lot of activity, and everything. So I think I might be coming across as a little, I don't know, some people might be upset, but then I think certain things we have to look at, we are coming from a certain legacy, certain way of working and all that, right? Because I know how much last time, what CM wanted to done didn't happen, right? And I think we need to start focusing on that, the administration layer in between, and how their priorities and how their style of working is the one that is harming us, right? See, as businessmen, we will always be wanting, it is our nature, and you are one too, so it's our nature to push the envelope, right? And we'll be asking a lot of time, and I agree, it's not always possible. But I think CII can play a moderating role in that and support you in wherever that is. But I think right now, we have no option, and we are very glad that we can forget last 5 years, right? So I think we don't need to harp on that. But we don't expect, with you, we expect the other side, right? So maybe it's right, wrong, but that's what it is. So I think that is one of the points I wanted to make, Lokesh, is that how do I think we need to work on that the interaction becomes, It doesn't mean we need your time every day, but at least at some point at certain, and the other ministries also have to be brought on board to work on that, right? Now, one thing, yes, I was a little unhappy you didn't mention poultry, but okay, we'll deal with that later. It's a 1 lakh crore business in this country and for India, and like you were saying, our effort has always been about feeding India, right? We have not been unlike Aqua, where we are not exporting, right? But now there's a phenomenal opportunity because Malaysia's production cost is 9 rupees, Thailand's production cost is 9 rupees, our production cost is 475, in spite of our feed being almost 50% costlier, right? But now it's 21 paisa to send eggs from Vizag to Malaysia, right? Or Singapore. It's huge opportunities now. Even we didn't get present, we are only. So I think, those things I think we need to work, and do, how do we do that? Because that itself in 3 years could be $1 billion opportunity for us, right? And many things like that. I think one thing we all don't recognize is Sitafal is a fantastic export opportunity. It was selling for 10 pounds in London. 10 pounds of fruit, right? I mean, do we need 10 pounds for it? I mean, 1 pound of fruit, you can imagine the potential of that, right? I think so. These are some points I wanted to make, Lokesh, and we need to work on that. It's not as simple as what I'm saying. I get that, but I think that is the other point that needs to be worked on, because without working on that, all our dreams will be left. I think that's also critical area that needs to be pushed now. To that speed of business will not happen. So, thank you.
Lokesh ji, before you respond, adding to what Suresh ji said. We have been asking and looking forward for the joint consultative meetings and forum, and that probably you should announce that today, because it's not happening, and somebody should be accountable for that, and you should get the report. Somebody should report to you, and unless this happens, we'll be talking, but ultimately. No, sometimes it's very, very difficult for us to reach out to you. We cannot trouble you every day because you are heading so many departments. So the vision of your department should percolate to the lowest point in the bureaucracy, and you should make comfortable. I think before we finish this meeting, please give an announcement that who is responsible, how frequently we do it. So sorry for pushing you to this,
but it's a very valid point. Yeah.
Make your vision a reality. Industry and government should talk frequently. Take this input. If he gives a valued input from his this thing, it will be a great opportunity for the government, for the industry, for the farmers, for the people. So I think probably in the consultative meetings we can ask the other state people also to come and join if they are interested in that particular field. So thank you.
So we have, yes.
Quickly, just to respond, I think it's a very valid point. See, we've had challenges, no second thought. I mean, we just completed our first 100 days. So Economic Development Board reviving it because it moved to industries from GAD. So we're bringing it back to General Administration Department, because you understand today businesses cut across ministries, and then we don't expect businessmen to run to each minister or ministry to get things done. So single port of call will be the Economic Development Board, and the CEO just came in place 10 days back. So we're building the entire team under it. So there's not going to be a different promoting board for IT or electronics. I offered that I'll actually wind it up and we're going to do it with EDB. Like energy is a huge sector, but then data centers is another big sector. But when investors come and look at me, they say, I want to do the data center bit with renewable energy. So who do I talk to? So I can't expect them to talk to the IT minister and the energy minister. It's not going to work. Economic Development Board. So that layer is setting up. Give us 30 days, we're going to get done. As far as the joint consultative meeting, I would ask you for your dates. So you tell which dates, the entire team will be ready for you. So as simple as that. It could be the ministers or the secretaries. Please announce a date. We will all be available for you. No second thoughts about it. So before the meeting ends, please give me the date, and we will deliver on it. We will deliver on it.
Minister, actually it's a forum. It's called the Joint Consultative Forum. So this is a forum where it's like a very formal entity where the government and the secretaries of various departments. Now in this case, if it's the Economic Development Board, it's very easy. It's a one-stop shop for us. and the leadership at CII. They come for some frequent meetings, whatever is convenient for both sides. And this is actually working very well in Kerala. The Kerala chairman is here. He will actually be speaking later, state chairman. And it's been working for the past, I think, how many years?
It's more than 11 years, Minister. So what happens is it's a notified forum in a geo. So it is a formal meeting which is convened in Kerala at least. It's a formal meeting chaired by the Chief Secretary with 10 secretaries to 12 secretaries relevant to industry on one side and 10 to 15 industry members cutting across all sectors. So they meet on a frequent basis, which is preset, and discuss what communication, what industry wants to tell to the government wants to tell to the industry. It's in a very closed format, it's been discussed, and it has worked out really well.
It's a structured meeting with minutes and the follow-up and all.
Yes.
ATR report and all.
Yeah.
It started
and what's
in
the frequency?
once in 2 months.
Okay.
And it started in Kerala in 2008.
16 years.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And now recently in Puducherry also.
They have,
so we
government
just
has
signed,
asked
the
CI
government
to-
has passed a GO.
To do this work.
Perfect. I'll initiate the green note.
Yeah, thank you.
And I'll send it to the respective ministers. I'll follow it up. And we'll deliver on this in 1 week.
So next, Mr. Sai Prasad, please. State Chair of Telangana.
This is something that Honorable Chief Minister knows exactly what he used to do when he was the Chief Minister of the combined state.
Yes, sir.
And we had all the chief secretaries and the industries department and everybody else, and people from the CII would be meeting at very, very regular intervals. And that was a very, very effective model. So it doesn't have to be strictly structured, but it should be a forum that where it can be meet regularly.
What we'll do is we can meet once in 2 months.
Yes.
But let's be in touch real time using WhatsApp.
Yes, that's
So I'm a hyperactive WhatsApp user. So
yeah.
WhatsApp, I've realized, is the best platform for us to exchange ideas and interact. We'll do that. I think we'll do it structurally with,
Yes,
with
it's
the
better
permission.
to do it with the structure.
With a structure.
Minister. Then it
And we'll
works
do
and
this
it's
also.
Also sustainable that way.
Absolutely. We'll deliver on
Yeah,
this.
thank you. Sai.
Thank you, Honourable Minister, for taking time on a Saturday to be with us. I'm Sai Prasad from CII Telangana, Chairman, and also Executive Director of Bharat Biotech. I have two-part question. One is, for any state or state or country to grow, you need capital and resources, which is what I call as human capital and human resources. And if you look around our own country and maybe other parts of the world, either there are states and countries where entrepreneurship is strong, and there are states and countries where STEM education and education is very strong. Andhra Pradesh is extremely lucky. It's one of the only states, I think, in the Indian Union where both entrepreneurship is strong and also the educational push from our families is also very strong. This is a beautiful combination that doesn't exist, I think, personally in any other state of India. This levels of entrepreneurship, and that has to be harnessed for local businesses and local industry. That is one concept that I would like to place in front of you. The second concept is, you mentioned about, the past 5 years, the next 5 years in the future. As we are all in industry, when we make investments, we make 20, 30-year investments, timelines. So elections happen in 5-year cycles. What is some of the assurances that you can give industry in general that if we do commit to those investments, there will be continuity in government practices and policies so that we can continue on with our businesses? Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Sai. Very valid point, and coming back to what Suresh also said is that, historically EDB was focused on bringing new investments. But this time the structural change we're going to bring in is that they're also going to focus on already entrepreneurs who have invested in Andhra Pradesh, because I don't need to convince them to invest the next rupee. It's very easy. I'm going to do that. And that's going to be part of our structure. And we're building leadership in that specifically. And as you rightly said, being a combined state, Andhra, Telangana in the past, so all of us were beneficiaries of Hyderabad in that sense, and all of us have our investments in Hyderabad. That's a fact. I think post bifurcation we've struggled with building back that momentum. We've done it a bit, but then we've sort of limping beyond that. Saying that, I think, as you rightly said, Andhra Pradesh has both the strong human capital and at the same time a lot of entrepreneurial blood. And across sectors, they have a role to play. So we just need to harness it and create a very transparent platform for that. Two, again, as I go back, Bharat Biotech played a very important role in Genome Valley, the entire creation, the idea, the thought process. Once the idea was given to the Honorable Chief Minister, then he just took it off and then he took it to the next level. That's what I'm looking at all of you for. I'm not looking at just one investment by your company, but I'm saying, how can we create ecosystem? Unless there's an ecosystem, it's not going to be sustainable. And that brings me to answer the second question. If it's a strong ecosystem and it's of certain scale, then politics cannot do anything. And a great example of that is the IT ecosystem in Hyderabad. So the IT ecosystem stood the test of time and politics. Genome Valley stood the test of time and politics. So if you have scale and ecosystem, then things sort of snowball, and then, as a political class, our role becomes smaller. So I think what we want to do is whatever we want to achieve in 5 years, we're going to do it in the first 3 years and deliver on it, so that we can create that impetus, so that there'll be no change. But of course, I look also pre-election. I did speak to a few members of CI, and that I said we need to talk about this at a national level also. Because we need guidance from the central government on this particular subject, because governments might change, and it could be Andhra, it could be Telangana, it could be other states, but once a document is signed, agreed upon, I think if we keep reneging on it, the entire business plan goes for a toss. And that's unfortunately what happened in the previous 5 years. So I think that it requires a dialogue at the national level, and that's something that I did speak to CI about. And as a state, we're willing to also lead that dialogue, saying once signed, once done. I think as a nation, we need to be committed to it. Because renewable energy, a great example of that is we've suffered with the erstwhile regime's decisions with renewable energy. PPAs were unilaterally cancelled. But then behind that was SoftBank investments, sovereign investors. So that created reputation loss, not for Andhra Pradesh, but as a nation we lost our reputation. So it's very important that we create a framework to ensure that there's safeguards or rails to doing that. So one, we're going to create an ecosystem, create impetus, scale. Then you'll have no role, and you won't need us. You'll be on your own. Like Genome Valley today doesn't require government. There's no government intervention. IT in Hyderabad, marginal intervention. It's at a hyper scale. So we want to create that. So we've done that, like Kia, and the ancillaries. It's so big that government really cannot fiddle. And if we get 10 more other automotive manufacturers there, I'm done. Anantapur is in the next level. And that's what I'm working towards. Electronics, the same thing. Renewable energy, the same thing. Last time we signed, because we had bifurcation pains, and we lost 2 years trying capital and all this. But now we don't have all that. So we're starting from day one. So the entire electronics, renewable energy, and all that agreements that we're signing, we want them to see the end of the tunnel in 3 years. And parallelly, I'll work with CI on the national policy, and I'll talk to the Honorable Minister of Commerce and see how we can etch this in stone as a nation. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Next we have Mr. Ponusamy, Minister. He's co-chair of the National MSME Council at CII, and also he's co-chairing on the ease of doing business. He also runs one of the largest chemical industries in India. Over to you, Ponusamy.
Good afternoon, Mr. Honorable Minister. I think just a few points on MSME side. See, Andhra Pradesh supplies to Government of India PSUs this GEM portal. I think you are encouraging, your government is encouraging procurement from GEM portal. That's one of the state. I think recently I saw some orders are placed to them. See, very, very less. Even Andhra Pradesh contribution supplies less than 1%. Last year they procured 4 lakh crore. In another 2 years, it may be about 10 lakh crore. All depends, Indian Oil, ONGC, NTPC, all the government, and also central government, and also state government. Lot of state government can 100% buy from GEM portal. So it is expected to grow within next 10 years, 10 lakh crore. So if we can contribute about 5%, it will be 5 lakh crore for it. And that too, 49% are supplied by MSMEs. This I want your government to look into it. Maybe you can appoint, your MSME department may not be having the wherewith to handle this. You have to reach out to even MSMEs who are in villages. Not only metros, I think all the places, taluk level, village level we should reach. CA can work, but I think you need some outside people, or you are, like EDB, you should have MSME department. Like that, if we can consider, it will be great. Economy also, it will grow. And a lot of things will be benefited. This I think, and also credit guarantee scheme where Government of India gives 5 crore to each micro and small without any collateral security. So every day they are distributing 800 crores. Last year Andhra Pradesh got only 5,000 crores. It has potential. These things I think we can concentrate from our side here.
No, perfect. No, just to also give clarity, we've had issues with regarding releasing of incentives to MSME. So as a state, we've taken that as a green channel because they need these incentives as of yesterday. While all of us, the larger companies, can wait for a month more, but they need it. And that's the kind of handholding we need to do. MSME is being led by a very young minister. Srinivas is younger than me. Yeah, so he's very young, very focused. And he's been tasked with it because MSME creates a maximum number of jobs. It's a fact. It's a global fact. And we're going to do that. The second bit, the credit guarantee scheme. The erstwhile, what happened is the government contribution, state government contribution got delayed, and that's what created the issue. So we, in the last cabinet, we cleared 100 crores for this, and we're going to support it. So the Honorable Chief Minister and the cabinet made a statement that up to 5,000 crores immediately, let's support. So, I mean, you can understand if state gives 5,000, then the opportunity is going to be massive. So this is going to be a thrust area. And Srinivas is an amazing minister who can now handle this subject very well. And of course, we look forward to working with you on this particular area. Yep. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Ms. Suchitra Ella. She needs no introduction, but I'm duty-bound to introduce her. Managing Director, Bharat Biotech, and past chair, regional chair of CII Southern Region. Over to you.
Good afternoon, Honourable Minister. It's a pleasure to meet you here. It's always been a pleasure to have interacted with the Honourable Chief Minister. Your father, of course, needs no introduction, has been a great leader and a role model for many young entrepreneurs. The concept of Genome Valley probably was not, even thought of, envisioned by any other state in the country at that point of time. When the Chief Minister that he was at Andhra Pradesh, he just was open to a thought, to a subject which was not heard of in this part of the world. And it was his vision and foresight, which immediately, we had Neeraj Kumarji earlier at the APIIC, and the first trench of 600 acres of land was given to Genome Valley, which today, I'm proud to say that 70% of India's vaccines come from Hyderabad and from Genome Valley. No doubt, the IT revolution and the biotech revolution of India has been led by the Honorable Chief Minister. We all in Hyderabad, not a day goes without recalling all those initiatives that we had been associated with as an industry, because the biotech policy was created. I remember the first few years when we relocated back, our chairman, Dr. Krishna Ella, was probably spending his entire afternoon post-lunch at the Secretariat drafting the AP biotech policy, life sciences and pharmaceutical policy. And I was wondering whether this gentleman is going to run his own business, or is he running the business by sharing his inputs and thoughts and preparing a great model and cluster which has now almost grown to about close to 300 companies operating out of the cluster. I wish Andhra Pradesh has now, has regained its position. We are fully confident. I also think of CII, the days when I was just telling my colleague here, Mr. Poliswamy, about the partnership summits, Anil and all of us in the Ramesh Dakla, and so many of us in CII recall the days of the partnership summits that we have done for the state of Andhra Pradesh, almost year on year on year. when we have brought the investments to the entire state and of course Hyderabad in particular. I wish to come to your point that you made on mangoes. I would like to just let you know that we as a group, the Bharat Biotech group with our other sister concerns in Karnataka, have exported close to 1,000 metric tons of mangoes and other exotic fruits to the US. And this does not happen from India in the past. So we have a USDA authorized facility out in Karnataka. We'll be more than glad to initiate the agri-bio cluster. I think AP should not miss this time around the agri-bio clusters. I think the agricultural revolution is important, as John had just pointed out, in terms of produce. But the value addition and the export capabilities and the potential, and the farmer is getting $4 to $5 for a kilo of lemon-belly, which is our delicacy, the equivalent of the Alfonso that all of us know about. So US, I think people were sending me messages, $40 or $25 of mangoes going from India. They were not at all complaining. They were just happily enjoying the mangoes and very proud that it came from India as well. The second point I have is women skilling, leadership, entrepreneurship. At CII, we also have the Indian Women Network, which was started in 2013 from the southern region. We would like to partner with the government in Andhra Pradesh. In particular, we work with all the state governments in the south, but in Andhra Pradesh in particular, again, we would like to see if Ivan can be of, bring in that element of women and skilling women, building their skill sets, training them, employability, and of course entrepreneurship. I think entrepreneurship is the key. All of us know that. There's no two ways about it. I just would like to hear your thoughts on it. And